بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. This is the second part of the lecture or of the organizational structural design. This is for management 5 to 12, organizational behavior and leadership, and this is the Greenburg textbook. And this lecture is for Monday, April 20th, 2020. And we talked about the different type and of organizational design, and we started with so many activities. Okay, we assumed that a student graduated from this school, then he worked with some big companies, then he has his own business, then after 20 years or after 10 years, he has all these kind of activities. How do we convert these activities into organizational design? Okay. Last point we stopped in, we said, people or companies or CEOs sometimes forget about, with their success, they forget about organizational design and they don't review it. Organizational design should be reviewed. First thing, any CEO or director, or he should always take a look at how this organization designed. Many challenges sometimes comes because of we don't look over these organizational designs. We talked about mechanistic and organic. Mechanistic, rigid, formal, not flexible, while the organic is more formal, okay? Now, we start by talking about Mintzberg framework. Mintzberg suggested five organizational forms. But before we go into Mintzberg specific organizational design or forms, let's go ahead and just talk about 5 group of individuals or 5 basic elements needed. The first type is the operating core. The operating core's type of people or individual is employees perform the basic work related to an organizational product or service. He performed basic work. We have strategic epics. Strategic epics is a top-level executive responsible for running an entire organization. These are the leaders, CEOs, and top management. We call them strategic epics. We have the middle line. Middle line, usually, by the way, middle management are always the victims of any changes in the organization, any layoff, anything, they always go to the middle management. Middle line, managers who transfer information between strategic epics to the operating core. They take information from top and they pass it down to the workers. They call them middle line. We have techno-structure, and this is organizational specialist responsible for standardizing various aspects of an organizational activities. Therefore, we have specialist. Therefore, so far, we have what? Top management, we have middle management, worker, we have specialist, okay? And then we have support staff. This is individuals who provide indirect support and service to the organization. Therefore, so far, this is what we have. Top management, middle management, worker, top, middle, lower, and we have a specialist, and we have support. Okay. These are the 5 types of group individuals or 5 basic elements of the staff and management and leader. Okay. The 5 specific organizational design by Mintzberg is simple structure, machine bureaucracy, professional bureaucracy, divisional structure, and adhocracy. 5 types. Simple structure, machine bureaucracy, professional bureaucracy, divisional structure, and adhocracy type. Simple structure. Simple structure is organizational. Usually, if the organization is small, informal, with a single powerful individual, often the founder or the founding entrepreneurs who is in charge of everything. This is the first type, simple structure. Small business, just started, you have business owner or entrepreneur. This is, they call it simple structure. We have mechanic bureaucracy, and this form works on organization, is highly specialized, and decision making is concentrated at the top of work environment, and it is not prone to change. Example, government offices are a good example. We have professional bureaucracy, and this is defined as defined as organizational, such as hospitals and university. This is professional bureaucracy, in which there are a lot of rules to follow, but employees are highly skilled and free to make decisions on their own. Hospital is a very, very good example. Also, academic universities are also good. Divisional structure. Divisional structure, this form used by many large organizations. Example, General Motors, Westinghouse, and other large. This is called divisional structure, in which separate autonomous units are created to deal with entire product line. Procter & Gamble, also another example. Freeing top management to focus on large-scale strategic decisions. Adhocracy, defined as highly informal organic organization in which specialists work in teams coordinating with each other on various projects. Adhocracy examples are many of software development company. They use this adhocracy type of organizational structure. I'll give you just an example or one example. Actually, let's go ahead and go through this nice. These are the 5 organizational forms. Design, description, dominant group, examples, because it's very important. We have this simple structure, simple description, simple, informal, authority centralized in a single person. And dominant group, strategic apex, while the example is more entrepreneurial business. We have a machine bureaucracy, highly complex, formal environment with clear lines of authority, and dominant group, techno structure, we call it. And example, government offices. Professional bureaucracy, complex decision-making authority is vested in professionals, and dominant group are operating core. Example, university and hospital. Divisional structure, okay, it's a large formal organization with several separate divisions, and dominant group is what? Middlemen doing vital role. Example, multi-divisional business such as General Motors. Adhocracy description is simple, informal, with decentralized authority, and dominant group is support staff. And here the example, software development firm. These are the 5 organizational forms suggested by Mintzberg. General Motor, by the way, General Motor, they have 3, when they restructure, and they have all the model through to 007. They have about 9 divisions: Chevrolet, Pontiac, Buick, Cadillac, Hummer, Saab, Oldsmobile, Saturn, and GMC. In 2008, they have 7 divisions in 4 channels: Chevy channels, Buick channels, and Cadillac channel and Saturn channel. Oh, they call it premium channel, that have Cadillac, Hummer, and Saab, and they call it, this is premium channel and Saturn channel. This took place in 2008, and then it has been restructured to 4 divisions, they claim, until now, which is Chevrolet, Buick, Cadillac, and General Motors. Just this is to give you an idea. Restructuring is highly needed. Whenever you have challenges or problem facing an organization, first thing to look at is what? Organizational structure. Because we always forget about the organizational structure. Again, organizational structure for the 70s doesn't fit the 80s, doesn't fit the 90s, doesn't fit the 20s, and so on and so forth. Not only every 10 years, every 5 years. Some company, they do that every 2-3 years. Some of them, like GM, every year, okay, as race, as a needed race, okay. Okay, we have then task quality coordination mechanism. What do we mean by coordination mechanism? Is different ways of how things get done in an organization. A task uncertainty, a predictability of performance tasks. It could be, if it is low, then it is governed by rules. If it is moderate low, it is governed by plan. If it is moderate high, governed by hierarchy, and if it is high, governed by mutual agreement. Task independence, we mean by that is disagree to which, it is degree to which 2 or more tasks are connected to each other. More connected tasks need more coordination. Example, selling PC and accessories. Structural or design feature. Now we talked about in structural design feature, we talked about strategy, okay, several one. Then from the strategy, we have contingency factors. And then we have task quality. Again, we just discussed the task qualities. And then we have coordination mechanism. And these are all will determine structural features. These are all determined structural feature. And then we'll talk about, this is will determine what we call standard structure or design features. Okay. Now, inter-organizational design, joining multiple organizations. We have intra-organizational design and we have inter-organizational design. Intra-organizational design, design that concentrated on the arrangement of units within one organization. Anything intra, like intranet, this is within the organization. Therefore, this is within the organization. Intra-organizational design. Design that concentrate on the arrangement of units within one organization. Inter-organizational design, plans by which two or more organizations come together. And as a part of that, we have what we call boundaryless organization. Boundaryless organization, which is literally eliminating walls. We don't have any boundaries. Boundaryless organization is organization where chain of commands are eliminated, span of control are unlimited, and rigid departmentalization gives way to empower a team. Very interesting. Two kinds of boundaryless organization called modular network organization and virtual organization. A modular or networked organization defined as business that outsource non-core function to other companies. This is modular. They concentrate in their core business, and anything else they outsource. They call it modular. Okay. Second type, virtual organization. Organization composed of a continually evolving network of companies linked together to share skills, cost, access to markets. They form partnership to capitalize on their existing talent and pursuing common objectives. They just share virtual organization, they share common resources. And this is the boundaryless organization, and this is type, they call it boundaryless organization. It's a barriers-free organization, and this is modular type of organization, and this is virtual organization, and all have different structure and setup. Other emerging organizational design is the modular or network or virtual. Intra-organizational design, we have the conglomerate and the spin-off. Now, the conglomerate division, is a diversified mega corporation, and defined conglomerate defined as form of diversified or diversification in which an organization, large, multinational, adds an entire unrelated business or product to its organizational design. Companies in the Far East are older, they have heritage, and they become conglomerate. If you go to Samsung, they manufacture everything from watch all the way electric and machines and the vessels and even some small special airplane or jets, as I remember. These are conglomerate. One time I was in Korea. I went with delegation with the Chamber of Commerce, and I saw a mall, and this mall was Hyundai Mall. And we know Hyundai is a cars, but they are manufacturing so many other things, conglomerate. Even they have their own mall. Very interesting. Okay. But this is called conglomerates. Big, big, big. Okay. Now, think of how are you going to take this conglomerate and design their structure. It's not easy. Very challenging. It will be built over time, and it will be built over success. We discussed several success stories with Sony and with Toshiba and with the previous year. Now, conglomerate diversification, and we discuss it. We have strategic alliances or joining forces for mutual benefit. Strategic alliances, type of organization design in which two or more separate company combines forces to develop operation-specific business. Strategic alliance. Okay, we discuss with the General Motors and Daewoo when they got have a strategic alliance from General Motors, cars from Opel from Germany, and another also. This is called strategic, and Isuzu from Japan. Okay, these are all strategic alliance. When they build refineries, usually Exxon, Shell with Aramco, they build, or with, they build it with these big companies. Therefore, it is they call it strategic alliance. Now, the continuum of strategic alliance is strategic alliance is mutual service consortia or consortium. Similar companies pool resources to share a joint benefit. Example, hospitals share expenses to build and operate an MRI unit. Joint venture. Joint venture, three types of joint venture: company to company, company to government, or government to government. Okay. Joint venture, like when they do refineries, big project, huge mega projects, they use. Now, these joint venture, different companies work together to fulfill the same opportunities, each requiring the other. Example, together, Sony and Ericsson, they make cellular phones. Value chain partnership, different companies that rely on each other for their unique business, customers, suppliers, and relationship. And this is if you go to the value chain, this is a strong and close. And if you go to the weak, is a mutual service, the consortia or consortium weak. And this is the closeness of relationship. Very interesting. Therefore, again, we have mutual service consortia, a type of strategy of a strategic alliance in which two similar companies form same or similar industrial pool or industries pool their resources to receive benefit that would be too difficult or expensive for either to obtain alone. Value chain partnership is a strategical or a strategic alliance between companies in different industries that have complementary capabilities. And we have as an example of that joint venture, GV, okay, strategic alliance, okay, strategic alliance in which several companies work together to fulfill opportunities that require one another capability. Strategic alliance in the global economy. We have example of Korean Daewoo. They have strategic help from General Motors from United States, from US, Opel from Germany, Isuzu from Japan. An alternative to joint venture is what is the spin-off. صدق الحق الله أكبر. What is the spin-off? Spin-off, it's a new company that is separate from the original parent organization, one with its own identity, a new board of directors, and a different management team. Spin-off. Example, Expedia. Expedia launched by Microsoft in 1996, and by 1999 they spun off, and it was a public company. Now, is there at least a rule of thumb that we can tell what type of design we use? If the size is large, okay, we have high labor, hierarchy, tall, and decision making is centralized. If it is innovative high organization, we use organizational type of structure. If it is diversified, diversification is high, we use many division use, and we use decentralized decision making. If it is geographically dispersed or high, then we use divisional based on geographical location. It's important to tell you, ouch, joint venture are of several types. Company to company, company to government, and government to government. Government for the government, usually Ministry of Defense, they make with the government, with other governments, they have contracts, okay, but government to government. Or company to government, like if Saudi Arabia do something with Lockheed Aircraft and Services, this is government to company, or company to government. Company to company, if Aramco do with Shell or Exxon, okay, this is going to be company to company. And this will conclude our interesting chapter in the organizational design. I would like to thank you and take you over a little bit before I close the session here over what we discuss. Okay. I thank you very much, and you have a good